Hello everyone, today I am going to tell you the treatment of hypovolemic shock. It is the commonest type of shock in the pediatric patients. This shock develops whenever patient is having the diarrhea vomiting, then developing the dehydration, then patient can develop the hypovolemic shock. Even after trauma, if blood loss is there, patient can develop the hypovolemic shock. Even after burn, and it is the most common type of shock in the pediatric patients. So the algorithm for the treatment of hypovolemic shock will be first we have to do the ABCD. Airway breathing should be maintained by the proper oxygenation and ventilation. We have to start the high flow oxygen by the non-rebreathing mask. If patient is not maintaining, then we have to step up the oxygen by CPAP or ventilator. And we have to keep the patient in supine position, and also we have to maintain the blood sugar. So we have to measure the blood sugar. If it is less than 60 milligram per DL in more than 1 month age, then we have to give the 10% dextrose 5 ml per kg straight. After ABCD, we have to start immediately fluid therapy, because the main treatment for the hypovolemic shock is fluid. So we can give the 15 to 20 ml per kg bolus over a period of 15 minutes, and we can give maximum 3 bolus. So maximum in hypovolemic shock we can give this up to 60 ml per kg in pediatric patients over a period of 1 hour. And we have to simultaneously monitor the patient for the fluid overload. In between, if you find that patient is showing the signs of fluid overload, what will be the signs of fluid overload? Heart rate will be increased almost 15 per minute above the baseline. Respiratory rate will be increased almost 5 per minute above the baseline because of fluid overload. And also patient will develop the crepitation, basal crepitation because of pulmonary edema, and liver size will be enlarged. So, and JVP will be raised. So all these are the signs of fluid overload. Immediately stop the fluid. Then also we have to in between monitor patient is responding to our fluid therapy or not. And the fluid of the choice for the fluid therapy is crystalloid, 0.9% normal saline or wrinkle lactate. Or another fluid is the colloid, which we prefer whenever patient is having dengue shock syndrome, third space nose, or if the patient is having the burn, or if the patient is having the acute liver failure and developing shock. So in this condition we prefer the colloid. In colloids we can give the FFP, albumin, dextran, but it is not easily available. So fluid of the choice will remain 0.9% normal saline or wrinkle lactate. Wrinkle lactate we prefer in malnourished baby. And after giving 3 boluses, maximum 60 ml per kg up to, if patient is not responding, then we have to check the blood pressure again. If blood pressure is normal, then we can start the dopamine at the dose of 5 to 20 microgram per kilogram per minute. And the trick for the dopamine is, for the dose of 10 microgram per kilogram per minute is weight into 0.36. And if patient is not responding to dopamine, then we can add the adrenaline, in this case epinephrine, dose of 0.05 to 3 microgram per kilogram per minute. Normotensile shock, in this case we can start the milrinone or dobutamine. So milrinone dose is same, loading dose 50 microgram per kilogram and maintaining dose 0.5 to 1.5 microgram per kilogram after that. I have already explained in the cardiogenic shock how to calculate by the trick. And if patient is not responding, then we can start the dobutamine. And the trick of the dobutamine I have explained in the cardiogenic shock. If is having hypotensive shock, BP is falling, then check the periphery. Hypotension with the cool periphery we will label as a cold shock. In this case we will start the epinephrine. Epinephrine or adrenaline is the drug of the choice for cold shock. You can easily remember by the trick AC. A for adrenaline, C for the cold. And this is the drug of the choice, and dose will be 0.05 to 3 microgram per kilogram per minute infusion. And for 1 microgram per kilogram, trick is weight into 1.5 ml for 24 hours infusion. Whenever patient requiring inodrops, hemoglobin should be maintained more than 10 gram per dl. So if the patient is having less than 10 gram per dl and inodrops we are adding For the correction of shock, give them Paxil volume also, at least 10 to 15 ml per kg over a period of 4 to 5 hours to maintain the hemoglobin more than 10. And also we have to monitor by keeping the central line SCVO2 should be maintained, and this is central venous oxygen saturation. This should be maintained more than 70% whenever patient is requiring inotropes. So after adrenaline, check the hemoglobin, check the SCVO2 also, and if patient is not responding with the maximum dose of the adrenaline, then we can add the noradrenaline. Dose for the noradrenaline is 0.05 to 1.5 microgram per kilogram per minute. And the trick for the noradrenaline is similar to the adrenaline because the concentration in ampule is 1 milligram per ml. So trick will be remain same, weight into 1.5 ml for the 24 hours infusion. If patient is not responding, in this case we can start the milrinone or dobutamine. So if not responding, even after giving all these drugs, we label as a catecholamine resistant shock. In this case, we have to give the state dose of hydrocortisone also, because sometimes patient is having adrenal insufficiency. So hydrocortisone 2 to 5 mg per kg state dose should be given. If patient is responding to the state dose of hydrocortisone, then QID dosage should be charted for next 2 days. Or in meter square, you can remember 100 milligram per meter square is the straight dose, and then if patient is responding, then 100 milligram per meter square dose should be divided into QID doses and it should be given for next 2 days. And still if patient is not responding to all these, then we can osimental, which is the calcium stabilizer. For the refractory shock, not responding to any drug, is the ECMO. So this is about the hypovolemic shock treatment. Thank you so much.